Jelena Dokić is an Australian female professional tennis player. During the height of her career, she played for Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, reached a career high ranking of world number 4 on August 19, 2002. After several family-related difficulties, she slowly slipped down the rankings in 2006. She made a serious return to tennis in 2008, and after winning 3 ITF tournaments that year, rose to world number 187 going into the 2009 Australian Open. She finished 2009 in the top 100, but declined in 2010. After a short resurgence in 2011, she has struggled with her form and injuries. The highlights of Dokic's career include reaching the semi-finals at Wimbledon and the Sydney Olympics in 2000 and reaching the quarter-finals at the French Open in 2002 and the Australian Open in 2009. Other highlights include beating several former world number 1 players, Martina Hingis in the first round of Wimbledon in 1999, Venus Williams at the 2000 Italian Open and Kim Clijsters at the 2003 Tsar One-Quarter-Rich Open. Other high-caliber players whom Dokić has defeated include Caroline Wozniacki, Jelena Jankovic, Monica Seles, Justine Henin, Arma Copyright Lime Moresmo, Mary Pierce, Elena Dementieva, Francesca Iavone, Anna Shakhvtadze and Jennifer Capriati. Dokić is one of the few women on the WTA Tour who have won tournaments on all surfaces, hard, clay, grass and carpet. Early life: Jelena Dokić was born in Osijek, Senior Croatia, SFR Yugoslavia to a Serbian father Damir Dokić and a Croatian mother, Jelena. She has a brother, Sevo, who is 8 years her junior. Her family lived in Osijek until June 1991, when they decided to leave due to the civil war. They settled in Sombor, Serbia, for a short time and later, in 1994, emigrated to Australia. From 1994, they lived in Fairfield, a suburb of Sydney, where Dokić attended Fairfield High School. Tennis career: junior career, Dokić was an accomplished junior player. In 1998, she won the US Open girls singles title in the French Open doubles with Kim Clijsters, ending the season ranked world number 1 in the International Tennis Federation junior singles rankings and world number 7 in doubles. She was an Australian Institute of Sport scholarship holder. 1999 Euro 2000, major breakthrough, Dokić started the year by teaming up with Mark Philippoussis to win the Hopman Cup title. To date, it is Australia's lone victory at the event. She then received a wildcard into the Australian Open, becoming a victim to world number 1 Martina Hingis 6-1, 6-2. At Wimbledon, Dokić made her professional breakthrough. As a qualifier, she caused one of the biggest upsets in tennis history, defeating world number 1 Hingis 6-2, 6-0, in the first round. Ranked world number 129 at the time, she was the lowest-ranked player to have defeated the top seed in a Grand Slam tournament during the Open era. She also defeated 9th-seeded Mary Pierce in straight sets before losing 6-3, 1-6, 6-3 to Alexandra Stevenson in the quarter-finals. Dokić also reached her first WTA doubles final with Amanda Kueza in Tokyo. During 1999, Dokić jumped 298 spots, finishing the year at world number 43. Dokić was defeated in the first round of the Australian Open by Rita Kutaikis of Hungary, 6-1, 2-6, 6-3. After the match, Dokić said, "I lost to a player who has never been a player and, I guess, probably never will be." This assessment of her opponent resulted in many critical remarks about Dokić from the media and the tennis world. During the spring clay court season, Dokić reached the quarterfinals of the Tier I events in Hilton Head, South Carolina and Rome, as well as earning Fed Cup victories over Kim Clijsters, Anna Kournikova, and Sandra Hindstad respectively. However, Dokić lost in the second round at the French Open. Her successes at Wimbledon continued. She lost in the semi-finals to Lindsay Davenport 6-4, 6-2. Jelena reached the fourth round of the US Open, where she lost to Serena Williams 7-6, 6-0 after holding 2 set points in the first set tiebreaker. At the 2000 Summer Olympics, representing Australia, she lost to Monica Seales in the bronze medal match 6-1, 6-4. In doubles, she teamed with Rennae Stubbs, but they lost in the second round. Dokić finished the year at world number 26. 2001, first WTA titles, top player. Beginning with the Australian Open, she began playing for Yugoslavia. Her father, Damir, claimed irregularities in the draw after her first round loss to Lindsay Davenport, and he was banned from the tournament due to abusive behaviour. Damir later said, "I think the draw is fixed just for her." After the Australian Open, her family moved to the United States. In May, she won her first singles title in the Rome Masters, defeating Arma copyright Lai Mauresmo in the final 7-6, 6-1. Later that year in doubles, she teamed with Conquita Martinez to reach the final of the French Open, where they were defeated by Virginia Ruano Pascual and Paula Suarez in straight sets. Later in the year, she reached 5 finals, winning 2 titles, in Tokyo, and the Kremlin Cup. She also won her second title in doubles in Linz, with Nadia Petrova. She also qualified for the WTA Tour Championships in singles, reaching the quarterfinals. She finished the year at world number 8. Yugoslav Olympic Committee declared her their Athlete of the Year for 2001. 2002, highest ranking, Dokić reached the final of the Open Gaz de France, where she was forced to hand a walkover to Venus Williams, after her first victory over Monica Seales a day earlier, due to a right thigh strain suffered in her win. In April, she won her 4th singles title in Sarasota, Florida, defeating Tatiana Panova 6-2, 6-2 in the final. At the Hamburg event, Dokić collected a 7-6, 7-6 win over Justine Henin, before having to retire in the semi-finals. Dokić was unable to defend her Rome Masters title, losing to 11th-seeded Anastasia Miskina in the third round. In Strasbourg, she reached her 5th final, losing to Silvia Farina Elia, 6-4, 3-6, 6-3. At the French Open, she was defeated by top-seeded Jennifer Capriati in the quarter-finals, 6-4, 4-6, 6-1. Dokić then won her 5th career singles title in Birmingham, defeating Miskina in the final 6-2, 6-3. She then lost in the 4th round at Wimbledon to Daniela Hantucheva 6-4, 7-5. After Wimbledon, Dokić reached the final of the Acura Classic in San Diego, scoring her first win over Capriati in a 3-set match. In the final, however, she was defeated by Venus Williams 6-2, 6-2. She also reached the semi-finals of Los Angeles, losing to Chanda Rubin, and Montreal, grasping a 6-4, 6-3 victory over Martina Hingis before retiring hurt against Capriati. Despite a 6-4, 6-2 loss to Elena Bovina in the second round of the US Open, Dokić reached her career-high singles ranking of world number 4. Dokić then reached the semi-finals in Bang in Tokyo. Dokić again qualified for the WTA Tour Championships, losing in the quarterfinals to Serena Williams 7-6, 6-0. She finished the year ranked world number 9 in singles. In doubles, Dokić won titles in Sarasota, Los Angeles, and Linz, as well as reaching the finals of Moscow and Tsar 1/4. This success resulted in Jelena reaching her career-high doubles ranking of world number 10. 2003 Euro 2004, out of the top 10, in 2003, she hired Bona Bikia from Croatia to be her trainer in place of her father. She played matches at 30 events, reaching 1 final, 1 semi-final, and 7 quarter-finals. At Wimbledon she narrowly lost in the third round 6-4, 6-4 to a 16-year-old Maria Sharapova. However, at Tsar 1/4, she beat the then world number 1 player, Kim Clijsters, later to lose to Justine Henin in the final. She also reached a final in doubles, in Rome with Nadia Petrova. She played in 2004 Fed Cup for Serbia and Montenegro Fed Cup team and achieved 2 wins. In mid-2004, Dokić returned to her family in Serbia, trying to put her life back in order and regain confidence. However, the attempt was unsuccessful, and in November 2005, after a turbulent period of 4.5 months during which she cancelled all her tennis commitments and not even her family knew her whereabouts, she returned to Australia proclaiming, "I am an Australian, I feel like an Australian and I want to play for Australia again." 2005 a Euro 2008, ITF circuit, representing Australia for the first time in 5 years, Dokić received a wild card into the ASB Classic in Auckland. However, she lost her first-round match to Julia Schroff, 5 a Euro 7, 7 a Euro 6, 6 a Euro 1, hitting 51 unforced errors and 28 double faults. Dokić then earned a wildcard berth at the Australian Open after winning the wildcard playoff. She held a match point on her opponent Virginie Razzano's serve and hit a forehand winner which did catch the line, only to have the umpire overrule the ball out. She went on to lose the match, 3 a Euro 6, 7 a Euro 6, 6 a Euro 1, hitting over 70 unforced errors. Later in the year, Dokić played in the qualifying tournament for Wimbledon, where she received a wildcard. However, she suffered a 4 a Euro 6, 7 a Euro 6, 6 a Euro 2 loss to Alexandra Stevenson. Under the guidance of new coach Nicola Piglia, after over 3 months away from the tour due to injury, Dokić qualified for a $10,000 tournament and reached the semi-finals of the main draw before losing to Astrid Besser 3 a Euro 6, 6 a Euro 3, 7 a Euro 6. In late November 2006, Dokić denied reports from her father, Damir, that she had been kidnapped by her boyfriend, Tin Bicchia. In her interview, she said she would not play in the 2007 Australian Open because she was not ready and her aim was to get back into the top 30. Shortly after, Dokić left the Nicola Piglia Tennis Academy. She was due to sign a contract to be in the academy for a year, but she instead returned to Bonner Bicchia, her coach. Dokić said she was not satisfied with the contract Piglia's academy offered her. After withdrawing from several ITF events in the early months of 2007, Dokić lost in the early rounds of two $10,000 events in Rome. Dokić then continued to withdraw from events. Back in Australia on October 17, Dokić released a statement through Tennis Australia saying that she would be using their facilities in an attempt to make a successful comeback. She said that she had not felt within herself to play during 2007 season but was now ready to put in the hard work necessary to get back to the top. She cited Mary Pierce, Jennifer Capriati, and Andre Agassi as inspirational figures for her to follow towards her goal of reaching the highest echelons of tennis once more. Dokic's long-awaited return to tennis came during the Australian Open wildcard playoff, where she was hoping to earn a wildcard into the first Grand Slam tournament of 2008. Dokić emerged from the round-robin stage with a 3 a Euro 0 record before retiring in her quarter-final match while trailing 6 a Euro 3, 3 a Euro 1 due to a thigh strain. Dokić received a wildcard for the qualifications of the 2008 Moorilla Hobart International, where she won 4 matches to reach the second round of the main draw, where she retired in her match against Flavia Pennetta due to an ankle injury. Dokić received a qualifying wildcard into the Australian Open, where she lost in the second round. After a 3-month layoff, Dokić finally returned to action at the Grand Prix SAR La Princesse Lallemerim tournament in Fes where she qualified but lost in the first round against Gra Copyright Ta'an. She then entered the following week in a $25,000 International Tennis Federation tournament in Florence, Italy, where she qualified and proceeded to win the tournament, saving 2 match points against Mirjana Luaia in the quarter-finals and defeating 7th-seeded Lucy Radecka in the final 6 a Euro 1, 6 a Euro 3. A week later, Dokić continued her winning streak by capturing the $25,000 ITF tournament in Caserta, Italy. She was then offered a wildcard to the International de Strasbourg, where she lost in the first round to Swiss Tamir Baksinski. In July, she won her third $25,000 ITF in Darmstadt after winning the final 6 a Euro 0, 6 a Euro 0. After a period with less successful results, Dokić took a temporary break and withdrew from all ITF tournaments during September and early October. She returned mid-October after being awarded a wildcard for qualifying into the Tier 2 Generali Ladies Linz tournament. There, she won her first-round match against Petra Marcia before losing to world number 63 Jill Krabers in the second round. In December, Dokić again played the Australian Open wildcard playoff event, where she emerged from the round-robin stage with a 2-1 record, subsequently winning through to the final playoff. In this playoff, Jelena played a tough match against Monica Wedgett, coming out a victor 6-7, 7-5, 6-3 and earning a wildcard into the 2009 Australian Open. After the match, Dokić said, "Some players just don't have it mentally to go through all that hard work, which I find is not a problem with me." During the playoffs, Dokić stated in a press conference that she has ambitions to play Fed Cup for Australia in 2009. Subsequent to the playoffs, Dokić was awarded a main draw wildcard entry into the inaugural 2009 Brisbane International event. 2009, big comeback. Dokić was knocked out of the Brisbane International by Arma copyright Line Mauresmo in straight sets in the first round. Dokić was up 5-3 in the first set before Mauresmo came back to win the tiebreak 11-9. In the second set, Dokić was down 3-5 but rallied to lead 6-5 before Mauresmo won the set in a tiebreak, 7-5. Dokić then received a qualification wildcard into the Moorilla Hobart International Tournament but withdrew before her first match because of an Achilles tendon injury. Dokić won her first round match at the 2009 Australian Open against Tamira Pasek of Austria, 6-2, 3-6, 6-4. It was her first Grand Slam match win since 2003. She then defeated world number 17 Anna Shakhvtadze in the second round, 6-4, 6-7, 6-3 and 11th seeded Caroline Wozniacki of Denmark in the third round 3-6, 6-1, 6-2. This was the first time she had reached the fourth round of the Australian Open. Dokić then advanced to the quarter-finals of a Grand Slam tournament for the first time since 2002 after defeating 29th seeded Elisa Klibanova 7-5, 5-7, 8-6. Dokic's run ended when she was defeated by Dinara Safina in the quarter-finals 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. Because of this tournament, her ranking improved to world number 91. In an interview after her first-round win at the Australian Open, Dokić said that she still has no contact with her father, but is building relationships again with her mother and younger brother, and that she has been dating her boyfriend, Tin Bikia, for 5 years. In Fed Cup, Australia was in the Fed Cup Asia-Oceania Zone Group I. Dokić defeated all three of her opponents in straight sets, Lee Jin-ae of Korea, Suchananvirat Prasert of Thailand, and Diane Hollins of New Zealand. Australia advanced into the World Group 2 playoffs in April. At the Cellular South Cup in Memphis, Tennessee, Dokić won 2 qualifying matches to reach the main draw, where she lost in the first round to top-seeded Wozniacki 6-1, 6-2 in 48 minutes. Her next tournament was the BNP Paribas Open, a premier mandatory event in Indian Wells, California, where she lost to American Jill Krabers in the first round. Dokić received a wildcard for the main draw of another premier mandatory event, the Sony Ericsson Open in Key Biscayne, Florida. She defeated Romanian Edina Gorlovets in the first round before losing to 13th-seeded Wozniacki in the second round 6-3, 5-7, 6-2 on Wozniacki's fourth match point. Dokić withdrew from the MPS Group Championships in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida and the Family Circle Cup in Charleston, South Carolina, citing fatigue. Dokić then won the second singles rubber of Australia's World Group 2 Fed Cup quarter-final tie against Switzerland in Mildura, Australia. Originally scheduled to play in the 2009 Internazionale BNL d'Italia in early May, she instead appeared as the number 1 seed in the $100,000 ITF event at Bucharest but lost in the semi-finals to Andrea Petkovic 6-1, 3-6, 6-1. She then participated on the 2009 Warsaw Open, which was the last WTA Premier event before the French Open, but lost in the first round to qualifier Iona Raluca Alaru. She then played the 2009 French Open. In the first round, she beat Carolina Angstrom-Prem by 3-6, 6-1, 6-2, her first win in the French Open since 2003. In the second round she played world number 4 Jelena Dokić. She led by 6-2, 4-3 before retiring due to a lower back injury. She also played doubles, partnering with Elisa Klibanova. They defeated Petra Sitkovska and Carla Suarez Navarro in the first round. They were scheduled to play world number 1s in doubles, Cara Black and Liesl Huber, in the second round but withdrew because of the injury. Her injury forced her to miss Wimbledon warming-up tournaments, but Dokić still appeared at the 2009 Wimbledon Championships. She lost against qualifier Tatjana Milk in the first round 6-3, 5-7, 2-6 after serving 16 double faults. Dokić was then diagnosed as suffering from glandular fever and had to withdraw from Swedish Open in Bergenstad. She was ordered to rest for another fortnight and planned to get back on court on hard court tournaments leading up to 2009 US Open. However, she did not make any appearance at the 2009 US Open series. She competed at the 2009 US Open but lost to Kirsten Flipkens in the first round. The week later, she played at the $100,000 ITF event at Biella where she is seeded fourth, but lost to Petra Marshall in the second round. She then played at another $100,000 ITF tournament at Sofia but again lost in the second round to Andrea Lava Infinite Corva 6-1, 6-4. 2 weeks later she played at another $100,000 plus ITF tournament at Athens, Greece. She won the tournament by beating Eleni Danililado 6-2, 6-1 in the final. This was her first title in 2009 and her most significant title since 2002. Dokić then traveled to France to play ITF-level tournaments, started with Joao Copyright Lois Tours, a $50,000 event where she was the top seed. She advanced to her second final of the year but lost to Sofia Lovitzen by 2-6, 6-7. She then played at Poitiers, a $100,000 ITF event, as the fourth seed. She made it to her third consecutive final and faced Sofia Lovitzen again. This time, she won the title 6-4, 6-4, clinching her second title in 2009. Dokić finished 2009 ranked world number 56, her best since 2004. 2010, out of the top 100, prior to the first Grand Slam event, Dokić participated in 2 Australian Open warm-up tournaments. She opened the season at the 2010 Brisbane International, where she lost to former world number 1 Ana Ivanovic by 3 sets, 5-7, 6-1, 3-6, in the first round. She then travelled to Hobart to play the Hobart International where she defeated Elena Baltica 6-4, 6-2 in the first round but lost to second seed, Shahapaya, in a disappointing second round match 2-6, 2-6 with Dokić making over 40 unforced errors. She was seen breaking down on court as well as crying after this match. As well as the singles, Dokić also participated in the doubles event at this tournament, trying to start a new combination with compatriot Alicia Molik. However, the pair lost in the first round to Chan Young-jan and Monica Niculescu by 6-7, 7-6, 10-2. She then travelled to Melbourne to compete at the Australian Open. Dokić was defeated in the first round of the 2010 Australian Open by 27th seed Elisa Klibanova 6-1, 7-5. The loss caused Dokic's rank to drop to world number 96. She also played doubles, partnering with Petra Kvitova, but the pair lost in the first round. In a recent article, Dokić decided to withdraw from Australia Fed Cup after dealing with emotions on and off court. However, in the aftermath she said, "I have had a lot to deal with in my career but I am not done yet, and I will be back." Dokić withdrew from the 2010 PTT Pattaya Open in Thailand and 2010 Malaysian Open due to a mysterious illness. She lost in the qualifying rounds of 2010 Monterrey Open and the first round of 2010 BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells. She was then offered a WC into 2010 Sony Ericsson Open in Miami but declined it due to another injury. Jelena then continued to withdraw from WTA events in Marbella and Barcelona, Spain, and Fes, Morocco, still troubled by injuries. Her clay season started in May, where she played at an ITF 50,000 tournament at Prague where she was seeded third. She lost in the quarter-finals to Karina Dentlany. Her next tournament was the French Open, but she lost in the first round to 24th seed Lucy Angstrom afar so unregistered trademark over. She then travelled to Rome to participate at an ITF 50,000 tournament but lost to Anna Tatishvili in the first round. The following week, she participated at an ITF 100,000 tournament at Marseille, France. She reached the quarter-finals but lost to eventual champion Klara Zakopalova by 6-1, 7-6. She then played the qualification for Wimbledon but lost in the second round to Julie Ditty in 3 sets, after committing 24 double faults, including 5 in the fifth game of the final set. Dokić then withdrew from an ITF 100,000 tournament in Cuneo, Italy, with a wrist injury. The following week she withdrew from another one in Biarritz, France. She then competed at an ITF 50,000 tournament in Contrexat-Copyrighteville, France, winning the singles 4-6, 6-3, 6-1 over Olivia Sanchez, thus claiming her first title in 2010. Partnering with Sharon Fitchman, she lost in the doubles finals. She then won her second straight title, in Bucharest, Romania, at the ITF 75,000 Ruxandra Dragomir Open, defeating Zuzana Andresokova 3-6, 6-1, 7-6 in the final. With this win, Dokić was back in the top 100, ranked 96. The next week, she participated at an ITF 75,000 tournament in Vancouver, where she won her third straight title after defeating Virginie Razzano 6-1, 6-4 in the final, capping a 15-match winning streak. Dokić has the most $50,000 or more ITF titles in the ITF women's circuit. Though she returned to the top 100 after winning 3 tournaments and 15 matches in a row, Dokić lost in the first round qualifying draw of the 2010 US Open to Laura Robson 6-1, 6-4. Jelena then travelled to Asia to participate at 2 ITF tournaments but had disappointing result as she both lost in the first round of the 100K plus H tournament in Ningbo, China and 100K plus H tournament in Tokyo, Japan. She then travelled back to Europe and participated at an ITF 50K tournament in Joao Copyright Lois Tours. She double-bageled Irina Jorgithoyou in the first round and she beat Karolina Plakova in the second round 4-6, 6-3, 6-3. In the quarter-final, Jelena beat Elitsa Kostova 6-3, 6-4. Jelena was beaten in the semi-final by Vesna Manasseva 7-6, 4-6, 6-1. Jelena won her first round match in the 50K tournament in Saint Raphael, France by beating Eva Bnaruva 2-6, 6-1, 6-2. Jelena retired in her second round match against Ursula Radworska leading 7-5, 0-2, with a suspected thigh injury. Jelena revealed that she had an elbow injury in the beginning of the year. Also, she explained that she did not take part in a lot of tournaments in the second half of the year to recover from injury and to deal with her coaching situations. In December, Dokić participated in the Australian Open Wild Card Playoff Tournament. In her round-robin, Dokić won all 3 of her matches and a spot in the semi-final round where she defeated Alicia Molik. However, Dokić lost to Olivia Rogoska in the final 6-1, 6-7, 3-6. Despite missing out on a wild card spot, the organisers awarded her a wild card for the Australian Open main draw. Dokić finished 2010 ranked world number 138. 2011, first WTA trophy after 8 years. Dokić started her 2011 campaign by receiving 3 main draw wildcards during the Australian summer, in Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne. She comfortably won her first match in Brisbane's 6-4, 6-3 against qualifier Anastasia Pivovarova, but then lost to inform, eventual finalist, Andrea Petkovic 0-6, 1-6. After the match, Dokić cited a stomach virus as the reason to the loss. In Sydney, she lost to Svetlana Kostsova by 2-6, 2-6 in the first round. In the Australian Open, Dokić easily dispatched Czech Zuzana Ondrejčková 6-3, 6-2 in the first round, but fell to Barbora Zaleva Strelvanhavkova 6-7, 1-6 in the second round. She also received wild card to participate in doubles, partnering with Sally Pearce, where they faced 16th seed, Tamir Baksinski and Tatiana Garbin, in the first round. The pair lost 1-6, 4-6. At the 2011 Open GDF Suez in Paris, Dokić won all three qualifying matches for a spot in the main draw. Dokić then upset the 30th-ranked Lucy Angstrom of so unregistered trademark over, a 2010 finalist, 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 for a spot in the second round. This victory was Dokic's first victory over a top 30 player since the 2009 Australian Open. She backed up her strong performance by defeating 5th seed, and former doubles partner, Nadia Petrova in straight sets, 6-4, 7-6 in the second round to advance to her first WTA quarterfinals appearance since the 2009 Australian Open. However, her run ended after Kim Clijsters beat her 3-6, 0-6, despite leading 3-0 in the first set, in a victory that brought Clijsters back to world number 1. Nevertheless, Dokic's strong performance in the premier event brought Dokić back to the top 100, at number 91, and a main draw wildcard of the 2011 Dubai Tennis Championships. In the first round of Dubai, Dokić, hindered by illness, committed 41 unforced errors and 11 double faults to give victory to an informed Flavia Pennetta, losing 2-6, 2-6. Following the loss, Dokić travelled to Doha to participate at the qualifying draw of 2011 Qatar Ladies Open. She comfortably won her first match but lost in the second match to fellow Australian, Jarmila Groth. Dokić then travelled to Kuala Lumpur, where she scored her biggest win of the year by upsetting world number 5, 2010 French Open champion, and top seed Francesca Iarvo 2-6, 7-6, 6-4 in the first round, despite serving 15 double faults. This is her first win against a top 5 player since 2003, where she defeated then world number 1 player Kim Clijsters in Zurich. She then defeated Japan's Ko Minara in the second round, 3-6, 7-6, 6-2, to advance to her second WTA quarterfinal this year. She reinforced this win by upsetting an informed Bojana Jovanovski, the 8th seed, in straight set 7-6, 6-2. This victory saw Dokić advance to her first WTA semi-finals since Taipei Pan Pacific Open in Japan in February 2004. Dokić faced a resurgent Michaela Krajicek of the Netherlands, who had defeated defending champion Elisa Klibanova in the second round and prevailed 6-2, 6-3 to advance to her first WTA singles final since the Tsar won Quarterich Open in October 2003. She concluded the tournament by beating Lucy Angstrom of so unregistered trademark over 2-6, 7-6, 6-4 in the final after saving 2 championships points in the second set tiebreak and being down 1-3 in the final set. This was Dokic's first WTA title under Australian flag and first since June 2002, where she won the DFS Classic, in Birmingham. Her strong performance rose her ranking to world number 61. Originally electing to strategically skip the qualifying stage of Indian Wells to compete in an ITF $100,000 tournament in the Bahamas, Dokić then withdrew from the ITF $100,000 tournament. Dokic's next tournament was Miami, where she had to play the qualifying round. Dokić won both of her matches against Tatjana Milk and Christina Mikhail to advance to the main draw. In the main draw, Dokić fell to a resurgent former world number 1, Dinara Safina in 2 close sets for a Euro 6, 4 Euro 6. Dokić then started her clay season campaign by participating at Charleston, where she was upset in the first round by qualifier Anna Tatishvili, in 3 close sets, 5 a Euro 7, 6 a Euro 2, 4 a Euro 6. She then participated at Fes as the 6th seed but was forced to withdraw due to a viral illness. This also subsequently forced Dokić to withdraw from Estoril and missed both Madrid and Rome. She finalized her preparation for the French Open by playing at Strasbourg. She defeated Fes finalist Simona Halep in the first round 6 a Euro 2, 6 a Euro 1 in just 48 minutes, dropping only 1 point on serve in the second set. Dokić then fell to resurgent former child prodigy Mirjana Luaia to a Euro 6, 2 a Euro 6. Despite this, Dokic's victory over Halep will ensure that she will reach the top 60 for the first time since 2009, with a year-high ranking of number 59. In Roland Garros, Dokić lost to Vera Dushevina in the first round 6 a Euro 4, 3 a Euro 6, 2 a Euro 6. She also participated in doubles partnering with Melanie Oudin, but the pair lost in the first round to Alexandra Dalgiru and Magdala Copyright Naraba recover. In spite of an early exit from the clay Grand Slam, Dokic's ranking rose to number 57. After Roland Garros, Dokić participated at Copenhagen as the 7th seed but lost to a qualifier, Galina Vosko-Boivar, in the first round 3 a Euro 6, 1 a Euro 6. Dokić then rebounded with a victory over Alla Kudryavtseva at Hertogenbosch in 2 sets 6 a Euro 0, 6 a Euro 4. She then upset 4th seed Flavia Pennetta 6 a Euro 3, 6 a Euro 4 in the second round to avenge her loss in Dubai, ensuring her 3rd quarter-final appearance of the year. In the quarter-finals, Dokić faced Swede Johanna Larsson, whom she dispatched 7 a Euro 6, 6 a Euro 4. Setting up a semi-final berth against Romana Oprandi, who had upset world number 2 Kim Clijsters in the second round. She won the match 6 a Euro 4, 2 a Euro 0 to ensure her second final appearance of the year against Roberta Vinci. Dokić was edged out in 3 close sets, 7 a Euro 6, 3 a Euro 6, 5 a Euro 7. Despite the loss, Dokic's run to the final ensured that for the first time since October 2004, she will be ranked in the top 50 a Euro at world number 45. Dokic's next tournament was Wimbledon, where she lost to 6th seed Francesca Iavone in the first round 4 a Euro 6, 6 a Euro 1, 3 a Euro 6 despite being a favorite to upset. She also participated in doubles, partnering with Bojana Jovanovski, but fell to 3rd seed Liesl Huber and Lisa Raymond in the first round. Dokic's next scheduled tournament was Budapest, but she decided to withdraw to recover from a hamstring injury. The same injury forced her to withdraw from the tournament in Bad Gastein and Baku as well. Dokić then participated in Washington as the 4th seed, but her lack of match play saw her fall in the first round to China's Zhang Xiai. She played in San Diego, but was defeated in 3 tight sets to Amy Morita, with her 15 double faults being highlighted as the main concern for the match. Since then, Dokić did not play any further matches due to a shoulder injury. Despite this setback, Dokić took part in the main draw of the US Open. She reached a second round but lost to Jelena Jankovic in straight sets. On September 27, Dokić went back to Belgrade, Serbia, and reconciled with her father. Dokić then participated in the qualifying round of Linz in October but retired after losing the first set 3 a Euro 6 in the first qualifying match to Evgenia Rodina due to the shoulder injury that had been bothering her since July. This turned out to be Dokic's last match in 2011. 2012 a Euro 2014, struggles with form, injury. Dokić began her 2012 season in Auckland, where she lost in the first round 7 a Euro 6, 6 a Euro 1 to Mona Bothell. Then, she received a wildcard to compete in Sydney. In the first round, she defeated fellow Australian Isabella Holland 6 a Euro 0, 6 a Euro 0 to set up a clash against 8-seeded Marion Bartoli in the second round, where she lost 6 a Euro 0, 6 a Euro 3. She also played doubles with Sofia Lovitzson, where she reached the quarter-finals before losing to Ragla Cops-Jones and Abigail Spears. 1 week later, Dokić took part in the Australian Open. She began her campaign by defeating Anna Shakhvtadze in the first round 6-2, 6-1. In the second round, she met Bartoli for the second time in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, Dokic's 9 double faults cost her and lost 6-3, 6-2. Despite that loss, Dokić stated she has played much better than in Sydney. She also participated in doubles and mixed doubles competitions, partnering with Katarina Bondarenko and Paul Hanley respectively, but lost in the first rounds of both. Dokić travelled to Bogotá where she was the 4th seed, but lost to Paula Ormikia for a 6-6, 6-3, 6-4. In Monterrey, she lost to eventual runner-up Alexandra Cadent 2-3, 6-6, 1-7, 5. As the defending champion and 7th seed at the BMW Malaysian Open in Kuala Lumpur, Dokić started her campaign successfully, defeating Kristina Mladenovic 6-3, 6-1 and started well against fellow Australian Olivia Rogoska, leading 6-3, 4-2, but eventually losing 3-6, 6-4, 7-6, 2. Since she failed to defend her points, she dropped out of the top 100. She then suffered 3 consecutive first-round losses at Indian Wells, Miami and Charleston, losing to Jasladalko 1-0, Ret. Ekaterina Makarova 6-1, 7-5 and Galina Voskoboeva 4-3, Ret. It was later revealed Dokić had suffered from a continuing right wrist injury since the beginning of the year, explaining her poor results and retirements. Dokić was set to return to tournament play at the ITF Challenger Tour in September, but was forced to cancel all commitments due to continuing problems with her wrist. In November 2012 it was announced Dokić had undergone wrist surgery and would miss the Australian summer of events. In May 2013, Dokić said in an interview that she was training for a comeback attempt at smaller tournaments using an injury-protected ranking. Again, in October 2013, she said that after a wrist operation she was training with Todd Woodbridge to try for a wild-card entry into the 2014 Australian Open. Dokić entered the Australian Open wild-card playoff in December 2013 but lost in the first round to Jarmila Gordoova. She received a wildcard to play alongside Storm Sanders at the doubles competition. In the first round, the team lost 4-6, 4-6 to Magdala Copyright Naraba Recover/Stephanie Var Paragraph Gil. Since Dokić has been out of competition for over 52 weeks, she has no WTA singles ranking. Major finals, Grand Slams, doubles, 1, Olympic finals, singles, 1, WTA career finals, singles, 14, doubles, 10, ITF circuit, singles, 10, doubles, 1, Hopman Cup, finals, 1, exhibition tournament, singles, 1, singles performance timeline. This table is current through 2012 Sony Ericsson Open. Doubles performance timeline. This table is current through 2014 Australian Open. WTA Tour career earnings. As of September 12, 2011, awards, 1998, ITF World Junior Champions, 2001, Sportswoman of the Year by Olympic Committee of Yugoslavia, references. External links, Jelena Dokić at the Women's Tennis Association, Jelena Dokić at the International Tennis Federation, Jelena Dokić at the International Tennis Federation Junior Profile, official website.